Hello, ang jawan? Turion goods, Feratunia.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Let's Play Klonoa 2, Lunaty's Veil. I, of course, am Whatthefnu, and If you wanted to know how I'm doing today, that's about it. Did I mention this is about my 10th attempt at trying to get this recording done? My literal 10th attempt. We have broken into double digits here. In this sorry, just had to get that out of my system. In this episode, we will be tackling what a lot of people would consider to be the worst stage in this entire game. And you know what? At this point, I can totally emphasize. Oh, not only as a kid, but as an adult, this stage has given me endless amounts of trouble. I still remember the sting of the hours, literal hours, entire chunks of 60 minutes that I devoted just to figuring out how to beat this thing, let alone do it with 150 Dreamstones and without taking a single hit in the process, I might add. We'll get into why this stage is such a pain in the ass very, very shortly here, but for now, let's talk about this stage's main mechanic. These enemies right here, the guys with the crystals on their backs. Well, we got a crystal in our way. Let's throw him at it, see what happens. But before it gets there, he hits the moo and sort of absorbs it? Yeah, that's the main mechanic of these guys. They're basically a key to all of those crystal doors that sort of evolve the more enemies you feed them. And the entire stage is based around that. Hell, this whole level basically is... I think what drives people insane is it's kind of like one gigantic puzzle. Like, up to this point, Klonoa 2 has been a very traditional sort of hop-and-bop platformer. The most brain power you had to devote to it was figuring out how to use all of the different enemies to your advantage. And I'm not saying people who like platformers don't like to use their brain once in a while, but it's just, it wasn't set up very well. There's a way to sort of get people used to the idea of puzzles. And let me tell you, dropping them into a 30-minute excursion through a ship just to... it's a crash course in all of the puzzle elements this game might have, and it takes forever. Yes, I like how beautiful this level is, sort of the fusion of sort of natural technology with the sort of man-made technology. And yes, there is such a thing as natural tech. Mother Nature is a very good engineer if you think about it in a lot of senses. But the thing is, that's... like any work of art, like any labor of love, it's just long, it's hard, and it's frustrating, and people just weren't mentally prepared for that going into this stage, considering what the rest of the game was like up to this point. I don't know, maybe it's just the fact that I can't bring myself to truly hate anything in this game because of how important it is to me, but I don't know, While I don't totally agree with everyone out there who says it's the worst thing ever, I can totally empathize with your frustration, especially now. For totally different reasons, it's giving me complete frustration as an adult than it was as a kid. Let me tell you right now. I have had the most trouble getting this episode up. Let me tell you right now, if I haven't used that phrase already. I have had recording problems, I've lost audio, I had to replace my actual jump drive that I used to transfer. For those of you who don't know, what my recording setup is, I get much better audio quality off of the mic jack on my laptop for some reason than I do my computer, even though it's loaded with Beats audio. Ooh, we're being all fancy about it. But that's just the thing. So I have to record all of my voiceovers off of the laptop and then bring the file into my tower, which is where the footage is being recorded because my laptop doesn't have enough space for the footage. Go figure! It's also a less powerful machine, so even if I did edit everything on there, it would take a lot longer for it to come up. So, Audacity could have problems. There could be a problem with the mic. There could be a problem with the storage unit I use to transfer the data. Sometimes Dazzle refuses. Sometimes Pinnacle Studio Import just refuses to capture audio for some reason. And I can't switch it out for XSplit either because XSplit hates Dazzle. For some reason, it just will not record audio with the device. Which is why whenever you see somebody stream like a Super Nintendo game or something to that effect, they're always using an emulator. It's the only option available to them. It's just been a nightmare getting this thing up, to the point where I actually got burned out after an hour-long stream of just repeated attempts and failed attempts. And you know what's the part that killed me? There's one segment coming up here. It was completely my own fault. I can't even blame the game for what happened. It was just a stupid mistake on my end, and it just killed it for me that day. You'll notice this was originally supposed to go up on the 21st. This is why. it has not been fun. But anyways, enough about me. Let's talk about this stage. I don't know. Going back to the setting, another reason I can't hate it, just from a design standpoint, I just think it's cool. I mean, look at that spiral right there. They really took advantage of this sort of living ship mechanic. And emphasis on the living part. This place feels alive. The main mechanic here, as you notice, hold on, I'll get back to this in a second. I just need to focus down this really quick. These guys have balls, okay? I would not have had the courage to do this to my players, to introduce mirror fairy segments in a stage that's already this long and cumbersome. You guys have got guts, I'll tell you. Now, just to make sure I don't screw this up, give me a moment of just silence to figure this out. Whew! Okay. Yeah. So, good on you, I guess, for sticking to your guns and making sure people had to work for their rewards, but still, what the hell, guys? You can show us a little mercy. Yeah, now, the living ship thing. The main mechanic here, the goal of the stage, if you will, is these in the background, these giant engines. There's 3 of them throughout the ship, and basically our goal is to activate each and every one. So you could say we're almost to about 2/3 of the way through the level. No, it's, this 3rd engine is going to take us a little bit of a while to get to. What have we already burned through, like 8 minutes so far? Holy cow, almost 8 minutes exactly. How about that? Wow, I have such a good internal clock now because of all the videos I've done over time. All the time I've spent watching the clock over the past maybe a couple months or so. It's getting scary how accurate I am at those kinds of things. Helps me out in the long run, but yeah. So, now we're about halfway through this stage, is the fact we all have to cope with now. Is this last one is going to take us a while. Alright, all things considered, this stage isn't that bad now that I know how to get through it. Now that I know the solution to all of the puzzles, it all seems very clear-cut and simple, but I don't know. I want your guys' opinion on this. Without me to tell you how to do it, do you honestly think you would have had trouble with a stage like this as a kid? Would it have given you problems? Would it have given you issues? Just sort of trying to... Wow, I didn't even try to pick that guy up. How about that? Wouldn't it have been kind of... Oh, by the way, I just wanted to show that off really quick. Even if you absorb 4 enemies, it doesn't change color. The highest it can go is sort of level 3, if you will. Sorry for the brief moment of silence there. I was just thinking, well... Do you guys honestly think you would have had trouble with a stage like this as a kid? I want you to wait through the whole episode, take an honest look at the puzzles, and go, yeah, that's kind of bullshit. That never even would have crossed my mind, or you just kind of blew my thought patterns. I never knew you could do that as a kid if you're coming back to the game. Alright. I am very... You know, maybe it goes back to this level. I'm going to be talking about this in a review I'll be doing here in a bit for Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, but I am very slowly falling out of love with the idea that you only get one shot at doing something in a platformer, especially a fast-paced action game like Donkey Kong or Klonoa. I mean, here it's not so bad because the collectibles that you only have one shot at, all they do is unlock images. And yes, while that's cool for a super fan like me to see all of this concept art and promotional images and things like that, when it's something as big as like an entire world that you never even would have seen, this extra little bit of game that you would have gotten for your hard work had you actually gone back and done the things, the optional quote-unquote things the developer wanted you to do, yeah, I feel kind of cheated. I feel like hang on a second, there's a way to do this. This is the easy part, too. No! I screwed it up again! What kind of nonsense? At least I didn't grab the gem. That's the best part about this. Oh. I just had a realization that I could have died at that part, and without having to restart the entire stage over again. So I was raging for absolutely nothing. Okay, so basically, to explain what happened to me in that part of the stage, you see, I accidentally grabbed 2 of the gems before I picked up the Mirror Fairy. Basically, I screwed myself out of getting 150 because I picked them up before they could be doubled. I would have been down 2 by the end of the stage. So, yeah. After everything else I had gone through that day, all the technological problems I had had, one stupid mistake like that, the idea that I could be that much of an ignoramus to make such a rookie mistake, kind of ruined it for me. I went crazy, sort of. I lost it. I just absolutely lost it. I rage quit. I'm ashamed to admit it, but I did. I bailed out on one of my favorite games. Now that I'm past it, though, you saw how easy that was. It shouldn't have given me any trouble at all, but lo and behold, only me, ladies and gentlemen, only me. It just stings, you know? It just really sucks when you've gone through all this work and the rest of the game, and then part of it will be forever locked off to you because the only way to go back and fix the mistake is to tread the ground you've already stomped before, and that kind of bothers me. I guess it's part of the challenge, but uh-oh. Sorry if you saw a little discoloration right there as I was flying in. Here's another technological problem I've been having. I think my CRT is dying. Sorry, I had to cough and say dying at the same time there. Yeah, I've had this weird problem where the colors sort of distort in places. Like, it'll have a phase of where it just goes whoa, 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 whoa with the colors. It just sort of cycles through the entire rainbow there, and then it just dies on me. It just quits. The entire screen goes black, and it won't. And I know it's the TV because it doesn't turn back on again unless I turn off the TV and then turn it back on, and then it's fine. This is basic troubleshooting, ladies and gentlemen. It's not hard to figure out the source of the problem here. So I don't know how much longer I'll be able to do standard definition Let's Plays for, but we'll enjoy it while it lasts. It's also an indication that I should probably work quicker than I have been, because who knows when everything is just going to fall apart. I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of the scary thing about being a YouTube Let's Player. We kind of survived the whole YouTube updating their content ID system not too long ago. We found workarounds. There was some damage that was done, but we survived. How long until this entire thing goes away? Till the entire system just explodes in its own face and we have nowhere to go but Twitch? I'm not sure myself, but, well, now you know why I've been live streaming a lot lately. Because due to the simple fact that if this does all end up dying on me, well, at least I have a backup. It's kind of weird thinking your entire passion it could all just disappear one day. It could all just go away. Anyways, on a less depressing note, yeah, finally, that's the last engine, and we're only 15.5 minutes into this. And we've still got a collectible to pick up. We've got one last doll piece before we can truly say we're done with this place. Although, sorry, I was thinking of what we could potentially fill this episode up with. Okay, I'll explain my thought process there. Thinking of that collectible reminded me of something we can unlock with that collectible, which made me think, hey, maybe we could show this off in this episode, but considering it's so long as is, maybe I should save that for the next one. Okay, moving on. That's what I was thinking of right there, and that's why I stumbled over my own words. Contemplating, is it worth doing right now? Probably not. Take that, Namco. All these years later, and I finally figured out how to beat you. Alright, just one more thing here. I can't screw this up. This is the last leap. Oh, grab it! Yes! Woo! Mild heart attack right there. I'm sorry, but we did it. We did it. We did it. We did it. Yay! It's been forever since I've seen that show. Not because I watched it. I was a little too old for Dora when it came out. Oh, wait. Right, there's an enemy down here we have to compensate for. Get up here, you little... you know what. Alright, hop onto the platform. Double jump, and finally! It better! We dropped 16 minutes into this goddamn stage. It better work. Padu! General confirmation has never been so deserved. Yeah. I want to point something else, too, about this. We've been traveling over this ship, this entire thing. Look how small that ship is on the lake. And look how small we are compared to the ship. How gigantic this lake must be. This is barring on the idea of an ocean. Okay, that's ridiculous. That thing is as big as a state. Oh my god. It also proves true that what we see on the map here isn't exactly one-to-one scale. Like that ship is a lot smaller in the actual cutscene. And besides, if this were to be true, Bagaji's tree would be the size of downtown Boston. Little skewed off of one-to-one scale, you know what I'm saying? Alright, yes! Finally, the audio levels are up. It's recorded my commentary. I have a working drive now. And we are done! I did it! I beat Ishra's arc at long last. I have content to put up. Oh, thank you for joining me on this, everybody. And in the next episode, we shall hop into the mountains of Mira Mira. Until then, I'm Whatthefnu. Later, everybody.